To keep with the programming, I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler. Wolverine. We're going to analyze the programming of the French Throwdown. We were going to talk about all the syndicate events that just dropped about an hour ago. If you guys haven't seen it, go see it.
Go see it.
Go see them. We already know what they were.
But go see them.
But go see them. Go see them. We will talk about those next week. So we'll let all the other people talk and gush. We will talk leading up to the week because we have the French Throwdown to analyze. We've got TFX Invitational to preview, which we'll do tomorrow. You still good for tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that tomorrow. Mike's, there we go. And then we'll preview Syndicate next week. If you guys are in Knoxville, Tennessee, go watch. It's going to be good. If you're not there, you can listen to Bill and John Young. And Bill's actually, I heard Bill is going to get one of those shock collars you give the dog.
I was going to have a taser. I was going to have a little taser gun.
Yeah, put on John Young when he starts talking too much.
Hey, you know what's going to be great about that? Like, there's going to be, I mean, they have all the community stuff, but we're going to do Kill Taylor there. We'll have the spin cast going on. We're going to have some like celebrity events, like we do the John Young. He's going to do Isabel with a couple people. We'll have another one where it's like Taylor, and then we're going to try and get Colton and some other people doing like a celebrity event, one of the events that like, so they can just go out and throw it. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good show.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time. Get there.
Corey Leonard apparently, or JR apparently knows who he's doing.
He's all right.
Yeah, we talked to him.
He's all right.
Good job. We didn't really help. We're just like, yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
Did you think about this? He's like, yeah, all right, good. Because if not, I'd be very disappointed in you. Be very disappointed in you. But I'll be traveling to Oklahoma City Friday. Have an affiliate gathering Saturday morning. So I'll be running that whole shindig for about 4 hours on site. So affiliate owners, if you're going to TFX and you're not signed up, hit me up. You guys need to come to this. It's free to attend. TFX is not free to attend, but the gathering is. We'll have coffee and snacks in the morning and just talk shop for about 4 hours, release you onto the world. You're not going to miss much. And then I'm hopping on the broadcast with Angelo Chico.
That'll be good.
So I'm super excited. I've been texting back and forth with him. He goes, what do we say here? I was like, just wait, bro. He's like, you're not going to do that. I'm like, I'm going to do that. I was like, you have no idea what you're in for. People think I don't. You don't. So it's going to be good. I'm super excited about it. But all right, let's get to the task at hand. Analyze the French Throwdown. We have our new analyzing system. I know there was a lot of questions coming in about this system. I really enjoy what has come from this system. And it's just a lot more discussion, overview. Do you feel like there's more creativity discussion than you originally feared that there wasn't going to be?
Yes. And I think I like the fact that we give the event the credit that it deserves if it's a good event, like the individual event. And then we actually get to take that and put it together with when we look at all of them together, and they're getting scored on those appropriately, I think.
Right.
And I think we kind of were doing it intuitively before, but now it's nice to go through the pieces and like label why.
Right.
Why do we think this is important?
A scoring system other than like this.
Right.
And then eventually I was like, oh, let me just go event by event and just say yay or nay.
Because, well, I mean, it's cool to have do you think it's a 0.1? I don't know, it's a 0.5. Really, a 0.5? I was only going to give it a 0.1 and be able to have that.
Because it could be the same problem. Like,
right.
Hey, it's a weight problem. All right, was it a 0.1 problem or a 0.5 problem?
Yes.
And then we talk about why.
Yeah, which I think is really. I will say I like it way more than what the first time we did. I was having a rough time. I actually really like it now.
It was a big dramatic shift.
It was. Nobody likes change.
No. But I was like, just trust me.
I think we had to get used to the new shoes. You know?
I had to get used to it too. I was like, man, it'll get better.
Yeah.
But I think we're there.
I dig it.
I think we're there. All right. individual event number 1. It is the endurance test, and it is strictly machines, and it is a triathlon format using the Concept 2 machines. When the ski erg, no, not the ski erg, because the ski erg's been around. I don't think you realize how long the ski erg has been around.
2014?
Did you ever do the thing? Probably 20. No, I think earlier.
Was that Brett Fikowski's where they drug the sled?
So.
Oh no, it's before that one.
But wait, yeah, it's way before that.
Yeah.
So in 2010, when I was training for the games, I had programmed a ski erg event, but we didn't have one at the gym. So what did we do?
Oh, you stood the rower upside down.
We stood the rower upside down. Just pulled the handle down vertically.
Yep.
And so ever since the bike came out, I was always curious. Like the marathon row came out at the games in, what was that, 2018?
Yeah.
2018. And so I was like, all right, the marathon row on the Concept 2 erg is now there. I was like, dude, there needs to be like an Ironman version on the Concept 2 where it would go ski, bike, row. And then in my head, this is when I was fitter, I was like, I want to create an event, not the Ironman, right, but something for Concept 2. Right. And so in my head, I was thinking it's like, because I wanted to put Captain America in there, some type of like superhero name, even though Iron Man has nothing to do with the Marvel character at all.
Right.
But it was like 250,000 meters, but split between in a similar format between ski erg, bike erg, and row erg. Like 25,000 on the ski erg, 150,000 on the bike, and then 75,000 on the row. Something crazy.
God, gross.
And call it like Captain's Quarter. It's like $250,000.
Okay.
So I'm surprised they don't have, maybe they do, but like an Ironman version of this. This is one of those good aerobic tests. It's a single modality test. Somewhat needed. It's a longer time domain, 18 minutes plus. Oddly enough, the women, well, not oddly enough, clearly, but like the women were way faster than the men. I think the women were closer to 16, actually. Mm-hmm. But you dropped off 200 meters off the ski, 1,000 meters off the bike, and 500 off the row. So yeah, I hope you guys went faster. What do you think about the event in particular? Just like going off, like, hey, long aerobic test, go get it.
I'm fine with it.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm good.
Right.
And I
structural.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that it's all monostructural. I would have. It's hard to watch anything where it's just sitting on a machine. At least if it was a long run, you could kind of watch it go around. But I mean, whatever. Like it is. I mean, it's kind of like the triple threes.
Right.
When we did it at regionals. It was. I mean, that you're on a rower, then you're on the treadmill.
Right.
You weren't going anywhere. And then you had the double unders. So, I mean, it was the same basic idea. Yeah. So I like it. It's good.
Visually, whatever. It's not there from a live viewer, but as far as the test and the event, all right, we need that. Boss man, how much drugs did you come up or did you do coming up with that concept, Chase? I was probably just tired. Or I was sitting on the bike erg for an hour. You know what's here's a shitty idea. Let's just do that. The event by itself, Bill, grading.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm on time too. Hey, we went long. We need to go long. It's all aerobic. Now we'll look down the road is there enough balance there? Right. But that's not per the individual event's concern. All right, next. This one, event number 2. Now, when we previewed this, once we talked through it, the whole concept we're like, okay, we just went super long, all monostructural, 3 monostructural movements. Now we're coming back and going super sprinting. And we're adding in gymnastics and weightlifting. 2-part moves for both, right? Burpee, box jump over. That's 2 different gymnastics movements. Dumbbell clean and jerk. 2 different weightlifting movements. And then we're dropping reps. We're adding weight. It's a single dumbbell. It was all the way to the floor. Again, I didn't know that. Not that it makes a huge difference, but I figured, anytime I see clean and jerk, it's funny, kettlebells, right? Kettlebells, everything I assume is just from the hang.
I do too.
Dumbbells, I automatically assume it's from the floor, unless designated otherwise.
I agree.
And that's what they did. They went all the way to the floor. Now, our biggest concern was, are there enough reps in here to even make this a viable separator? Is there enough weight in the dumbbell, even though it's only 10 reps, to make it a viable separator? When you look at the leaderboard, the scores were all so close at the top. The top 10 were separated by seconds all the way down. Mm-hmm. Maybe you have an outlier who can just blast through it. The worry was, is there even enough on the bone here to really test people? Or was it like, hey, how fast can you go? Not how fit are you testing a sprint?
I think that you could have boiled this whole thing down to, okay, let's race the last dumbbell clean and jerks.
True.
And I think that you would have had the exact same thing. With that being the case, then it's exactly to your point. There is not a whole lot of separation. So what are you really getting out of the test?
Right.
I like the design of it and everything.
Yes.
But I don't think it had the touch that it was needing to have. Mm-hmm.
I feel the same way. I like the movement pattern combos. I like the two-parters. I like the push, the jump over. I like the pull and the press over. I enjoy that. It's a good combo. I just don't think there is enough volume here in either one, regardless of the weights, even though they go up, to really be like, oh, I'm that needed to be in there. Mm-mm. The one thing right off the bat is like, if they had just added 40 and 20 at the top, then I'm like, okay, right? Shift all the weights up and have a heavier dumbbell at the final one.
Even heavier at the end.
Yes. So like 30, 20, 10 should really be 40, 30, 20. And then another dumbbell at the end of 10 and 5 with the burpee box jump overs. Now we've got ourselves an event, and it's still short. I know they wanted to go short. They wanted to bring the two modalities, gymnastics and weightlifting, into the second event that they didn't have in the first. I like that, but this one it was just so under-programmed that I just didn't see the purpose of it, honestly.
Yeah, I guess it would depend what that last dumbbell would be if you went the 40 down. Mm-hmm. Because again, I kind of, even with that, I kind of feel like where really are you going to have the separation? There's not going to be any separation on the 40 and 20. I don't think, not that much. Do you think there'd be that much?
I think there would be
some. I think there'd be some. I just don't know if there'd be that much.
All right, so
I don't know if it would change it that much, even with that.
The first 40, so 22, 5, and 15. We said that that's like 45 and 30.
Yeah.
Let's just say general.
Jeez, oh man, dude, 45 pounds.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right. What it should really have been is say, I mean, shit, we're sending people to CrossFit Games, right?
Right.
So if this was, say, 30, 40, 50.
Different. That would be different. Yeah.
Or without adding anything. Let's just change the weights.
If you brought the weights up, it would. Well, because now, again, like that, I don't even think there are any of these athletes that have ever touched the 45-pound.
No, that's what we used to use until the Open.
I mean, that's in my age division, and I don't touch that weight.
Yeah.
So, like, to have that in there, that was a waste of a round.
How about 30, 20, 10 for both and make it 30,
40, 50? Yeah, that would be great. Because then it would count. I mean, like 30 reps of that was, so what is 30? That's going to be almost 70 pounds?
Yes.
That's meaty. That's good. And then it counts.
Right. So 30, it'd be 66.
Okay.
40, 88, 50, 110.
Dude, that is, yes. Okay, now it counts.
With the burpee, the burpee box jump overs meant
nothing.
Nothing. And the first dumbbell also meant nothing. It's just like, did I get no rep or not?
Yeah.
So I want to put something here, but what is it?
I would
Are you
think it
doing a
would.
full,
I would
like,
think it would
event
be.
schedule?
I think it would be a 0.5, and the reason I say 0.5, and that sounds drastic, but the reason I'm saying that is because as the way it's written, you are not getting the test that you're wanting. Like you could have had this same. We want to go fast, okay? Race 10 and see who finishes.
Right.
It would have been the same thing. No one got fatigued enough to where that really mattered. I don't think.
No. If you
And
watched it,
so
nobody did.
And so I think that was a mistake that way. And then also the fact that like it's an easy fix to try to like the weights weren't appropriate.
Mhm.
So it's not a 0.1 that the weights that the
No.
test wasn't right. It has to be more than that. The weights were incorrect. The testing, what you're trying to test didn't work out right. I would say a 0.5 on that because it is a.
Okay. Are you
I'm
gonna
sorry,
look at-
you like not only under program, but like again, not one of these athletes has ever touched the dumbbell that light.
True.
Unless they're demonstrating a movement because they're close to the gym.
That's a good point.
Because that's what I do.
Right.
0.5.
What? Okay. Next question. Are you giving a rep scheme penalty, or just hey, the way it's written, the weights are off? What about box height? It wasn't that high.
It wasn't that high. I mean, what do we have? 30 burpee box jump overs? 30?
30. Remember the open where we did 75?
Right. Yeah.
We did 15 after every dumbbell snatch, and that was an ascending reps, and that was still a heavier dumbbell than your first dumbbell.
Wow. You think a point off of this one?
Honestly, I was curious if we were going to take a point because we do
I didn't
have a
even think
1
about it.
point deduction of just an event that shouldn't even be in the programming.
Right. Yes. That I can go for.
Now, okay.
That one it's a worthless event.
Okay.
And I think that's one of your what do you have it coined garbage event.
Do I?
Garbage
Is
event.
that what I put?
Yeah. I have it on my handwritten notes right here.
Oh Lord, was I that brutal? I mean,
Garbage event, absence of movement.
Okay. I mean, listen, guys, this didn't need to be. And at the end, we'll expand more. Here's the thing. There's 8 events that were programmed. 8. Spoiler alert, you didn't need 8. All right, event number 3. 100 wall ball shot buy-in. And then 3 rounds for time of 20 deadlifts and 20 wall-facing handstand push-ups. Shout out to the French Throwdown for calling it wall-facing handstand push-ups. I just saw chest-to-wall handstand push-ups earlier on a CrossFit podcast post, and it drove me crazy. Your chest isn't touching the wall.
Right.
You're just facing the wall. In fact, touching your chest to the wall will put you in a bad position of hyperextension. We don't even touch our chest to the wall for wall walks. And that was the standards used to be when we did wall walks before they became standardized.
Still kind of do it that way.
Yeah. If I'm
Because
doing
I don't want to put the tape down. That's why.
well, for example, the workout I sent you this morning, we had wall walks in it. And I just touched my chest to the ground and I touched my chest to the wall.
Yep.
Because I didn't want to do a tape line.
Right. Totally. Totally.
I'll just go beyond the tape line. Okay. This one, as we thought, it was like, all right, bide your time, and then you are about to get kicked in the chest with 60 deadlifts at 308 and 198 and 60 wall-facing handstand push-ups. And if you think about what we've done to this point, we went long, machines, short, whatever, and now you're just getting broken down, which is I'm not saying that as a negative. This is a beefy test to send someone to the CrossFit Games.
This is very old school regional-esque.
Yes.
I mean, it really is.
Like if you said this is a workout from 2012, I'm like, yeah.
Totally.
2012 regional programming was ridiculous.
Yep.
And I do like it. I don't think the buy-in is really
needed,
right. But whatever. Right? I put high on the volume because it's high volume for the movements programmed at the weights they're at. Like if you looked at those people in that third round, that deadlift was crushing.
Yeah.
Because it's not just reps. right? It's I mean, it is still high volume. It's 100 wall ball shots and 120 other reps. So it is still high volume. People are like, oh, it's only 1660. I'm like, do 60, do part 2 by itself and just let me know. All right, movement patterns. All right, hinge with the deadlift, press with the wall facing handstand push up, squat and press with the med ball. We've now brought the barbell in. We're doing heavy on that. We're basically making up for the 3 monostructural movements to kick off the weekend. Varying our equipment quite a bit, our weightlifting patterns. Like it's all, I mean, weightlifting movements, all these things separated. It's like, it's good. It's just good. All right. By itself, do you have any deductions when just looking at it isolated?
No, I really don't.
Part 2.
The part of me wants to say that the wall ball thing is unneeded.
There's a part of me that's trying to figure out, do I give a 0.1 because of the buy-in?
Right. And
I'll tell you what, if this was a 1,000-meter row buy-in, I would for sure give it a 0.1. I would be so mad that I would want to give it a 0.5, but reasoning aside, a 0.1.
Now here's something that I do think about with that 100 wall ball. Really, we're not going to be using any of that anymore. But what it does, it's not Karen. So you're not racing it. It's shorter than that. It's almost like you start the race and nothing's happening in the race other than the anxiety of knowing what's coming up.
Pre-fatiguing some movement patterns, right?
Maybe. I mean, I really honestly even see this as very minimal pre-fatiguing. It's more pre-anxiety.
Okay.
That is what I see. So is it needed? No, not really. But what it does, I think, is it can set the stage. I mean, as a commentator on this, what I would like with this is we can talk about all kinds of cool stuff during that 100 wall ball.
True.
And then get into the meat of here's really what's happening.
Okay.
Not even do they need to go fast? No, they don't. Because no one gives a shit about who wins the wall balls.
Yeah.
Nobody. It's going to be, okay, who are our deadlift people?
True.
That are going to hammer through this, and what is their pacing? What do they think they're trying to set up for as they get in it? So, I mean, I like that piece. And so because of that, and it's not going to be really that long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 100 wall balls.
It's not taking away from the event.
Right. I don't think it doesn't really add anything, but I'm okay with what it is.
All right. I was just, sometimes my buy-in.
No, I agree. I mean, I wouldn't count this. I'll say this. I wouldn't count this as, oh, well, there was squatting in this event.
True.
I wouldn't say that. Yes, there is, but I wouldn't add that to like, okay, cool. We got squatting in the competition now. Awesome.
Yeah, Barkley, he's got to get prepped. Dude's broadcasting in 2 weeks.
That's right. Barkley told me, so he's going to be like, that guy's going to be wearing so many different hats. And he already told me, he's like, hey, I'll have coffee ready for you. I'm like, dude, you don't need to be the stage manager. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But
if this is the same SEMA, I was like, SEMA, we go back to SEMA boobs, please, because that picture is just. But he's curious. He's like, yes, it's exactly what you think it is. All right, event number 4, the chipper. Now we're not there yet. So we had a single modality test of monostructural to start. We know heavy Isabella is coming. This one, 90 heavy double unders, 30-meter handstand walk, 60 GHD sit-ups. Oh, I forgot the toes to bar in here. 30-meter handstand walk, 90 double unders, 60 toes to bar, 30-meter handstand walk, 90. Heavy on the gymnastics, which we need because we really haven't. I mean, we had wall-facing handstand push-ups in event 3. That was the last event for day 2 because they went 3-3-2, I believe.
Yeah.
And this was the first event to start day number 4. I really like this chipper. I like the movements they have combined. I love the heavy double under to really pre-fatigue the shoulders in a big way. Get your heart, like heavy double unders, spike your heart rate, zap your grip and your shoulders. And now you got to do it in a handstand walk and a GHD sit up. I really do like this one a lot.
Yeah. I like I like how they get flip flopped up and down, then up and down, then up and down. And I like the fact that they have the handstand walk in between, breaking up every single movement.
Yeah.
Because it's not, I mean, it's a decent handstand walk. I mean, it's a decent amount.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that like all athletes that would be qualifying in really racing for it should be able to do, but then you end up doing it a lot more than you want to.
Oh yeah,
and I really like that.
I do too.
Yeah, I think I like this event. I like the number schemes. I like the movements. I like
Number
the up and
schemes
down.
are so nice.
It's
from
so good.
OCD, and they're good volume.
Yeah.
Right? Not just numbers for numbers' sake.
Right.
All right. I'm hold on. Where is my mouse? There we go. Movement patterns wise, right? You got 2 core flexions. I mean, all of these things, like even heavy double unders tax your core.
Yeah.
Like running technically taxes your core. So I
mean,
enjoy
it's directly midline with the GHD and the toes to bar, but it's indirectly midline with the handstand walking and the double unders. So I mean, it is very. I mean, there's like that midline marches to it.
Yeah, and I know we double unders are technically put underneath the monostructural category, cyclical reps for a long period of time. They're really not that long, huge period of time.
Right.
But that's just what they're categorized under. I think they what is that? They manifest in more of a gymnastics fatiguing capacity than they do maybe a aerobic fatiguing capacity. Right? I can have a conversation most of the time while I'm doing double unders, but I can't do. And the reason why I say this is like, everyone's like, "Hey, just row for 5 minutes." Like, okay, fine. Like, do double unders for 5 minutes. Like, what?
Right.
You want me to what?
Yeah, you can only slow down so much.
Right. And it's like what you're going to feel like after 5 minutes of double unders versus say even like a mile. But yeah, I don't have anything on this one either. So really the only thing we've had is that one event, and it was just the event itself. All right, marching on. Event number 5, Heavy Isabel. We've seen this before. We like it. It's the same thing we saw in every event. We'll see it in every event. We'll see it this weekend at TFX. We saw it during the age group online qualifier. We saw it in the online semifinal qualifier.
They did it for the adaptive.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hey, I got a guy through on the adaptive side.
I saw that. Well, who is it?
Craig Harrington.
Yeah.
So he went to the games last year, but like the divisions keep growing. Like the number of people in the divisions and the number of divisions keeps growing. So
that's great.
It's they're very Masters-esque time frame rise right now, where you can be really good one year and then all of a sudden like be lost in the shuffle because like there's this massive influx of people.
Oh yeah, they're like, hey, I can do that.
Yeah.
And they all show up the next year.
Right.
That's what you want though. That's the whole point of the adaptive and the age group, is that people see that they're like, oh shit,
we can do that.
Yeah, my life isn't over.
Yeah.
There's like life beyond retirement, or life beyond 40, or life beyond, say, maybe an accident that you had, which led to whatever this, adaptive position that you're in.
But I think it's great that they made. I mean, they made that a staple all the way through for all the divisions. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I do think that's cool. I mean, they haven't done anything like that really. Now it's a little change, but since the games in 22, where they all did, was it
the swim, ski, swimming stuff.
Swimming stuff. The swimming stuff was the games at
swimming.
Rinse and repeat.
That's what it was.
There it is. John Young was probably screaming at the computer.
Totally. I know.
All right. The next event is the event we've seen in multiple different. There's not one of these at TFX. There's not one of those at you. Also unique to the 2 events that are coming up this weekend is that they've partnered together, pretty much being the only events that are geographically locked outside of, I think, maybe just the Renegade games.
Really?
Yes, because Renegade games, you need to be local to Africa or type of exemption.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if South America had that. They might have. They should, though.
I think they should.
You don't need a bunch of people who can't cut it anymore to just come infiltrate your divisions and disrespect your athletes like that. Even though I guess what I just said is disrespectful to the athletes in this division, but it is the reality. All right, we got the bike, the bar muss up, the bike. We like this. We love this. Right? Not to skip ahead, but we've analyzed this workout
so many times. I know. Zeros or 10
again. Still sitting at a 9.0.
Yeah.
Still sitting at a 9.0. But 2 more events to change that potentially. Now, I got to say this, Bill. When we previewed this, I don't know if you heard me explain it or talk about it. I only thought this was 3 rounds. Not 4.
We just assumed it because it was Nancy?
Well, Nancy's 5, but I read 3. And
really?
It's 4. And so when I saw it on the broadcast, by the way, if you guys didn't see Coffee Pods and Wads and the coverage they did to just bring the stream to you in a different format, go watch it. You get to see everybody. He had some great guests on. And yeah, 4 rounds. I totally screwed. Like, nobody mentioned it. And maybe I just didn't expand on what I thought it was or read it once and nobody heard it. But when they're doing their 4th round, I was like, oh, shoot. That does change my opinion of this because I was like, oh, why is this even in here? It's only 3 rounds. Like, how hard does this be? And I'm like, oh, 4 rounds makes a difference.
Well, but what does it dive it into? It still dives it into more of a running race, right?
True, but it's a mile.
Right. I mean,
yeah. A nice mile of running. Axle bar walking lunges for another finish, even more fatigued on the 4th round than the 3rd. I like the 4th round. I think the 4th round was necessary. When I thought it was 3, I was like, by the time the 3rd round's over, it's over. But one more round after that and one more lunge to the end. After all the pressing we've done to this point, even though this is the start of day number 3, this being event 7.
It didn't really change my mind all that much.
Okay.
I like
it doesn't change much, but I like it more than I did when it was 3. I'll just say that.
Okay. Well, because then at least there's a little bit. Like I'm thinking 60. I'm thinking, okay, 20 meters. That's like 60 feet. That's basically one length across the width of my gym.
Yeah.
That's not that far. And I'm like, okay, 100 and what is it?
20 meters?
Yeah, 60 feet.
60-ish,
65 feet, 60, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that far. And 100 and what are we looking at?
132.
Yeah, 135 pounds. That's nothing. It's nothing. This is a running race to me.
It is a running race.
And even with the 4, it's like, okay, well, who's the better runners are going to have more of a chance to pull themselves apart from the rest of the field. But I really don't see that big. I don't see it changing that much, even with the 4th round. I mean, it's not a crap event. It's not like the 2nd event where it's like completely useless. But man, we definitely now have hit all the monostructural.
Yes.
Ski, bike, row, rope, and running.
Yes.
Like we just don't have swimming in there.
Bike again.
So
it's an event.
It's an event.
I like it way more than the one that we just totally axed.
100%. It's not a worthless event. You have room to move. If you want to move, you have 400 meters where you can get moving if you want to get moving.
All right, here's the question, Bill. It's a running workout. We've already had several monostructural elements to this point. One event totally being monostructural on 3 machines. To even out the balance of the event, we just had a bike machine in event 6. Do you think the weight should have been heavier to have more of an impact in the test? And is there a
okay, without trying to look back at the different events, trying to take this event by itself, which
and keeping in the name, because remember, Nancy is 5 rounds, 40 meter run, 15 overhead squats at 95 pounds. That's it. That is a running workout. Some would argue Helen now is just a pure running workout.
100%. 100%. Whether they're going to go namesake or not, I would rather. Whenever we talk about programming events, every piece should have a purpose.
Okay.
And I don't feel like the lunge, how it is, has much of a purpose. It's not long enough for the long-legged guys to really make a distance on the short-legged guys. It's not heavy enough for these guys to really struggle and go 135 pounds. Come on, man. Like I can like if I am looking at a weight and I'm like,
I love your litmus test now.
yeah,
I do
me,
the
old
same
man
thing.
me.
If I can do it, it's not.
It's not worth it. I think that it should have been heavier. Again, games.
I don't think
Games
much
athlete.
Heavier. I don't think much heavier.
4 rounds.
I think if it was 70 and 50, that'd be basically 155 and 110.
Okay, I would be better with that. I would be better with that.
Yeah, boss man. I think 185, 135. Then it's a lunge workout. Like that's too much.
Well, okay. Now, so here's the thing: if you do it that far, that weight, which I don't disagree with that weight necessarily, but then I would shorten up the distance of how far they have to go.
Right, because if you make the weight even heavier, you lose all the intensity on the runs.
Right.
I think a little bump in weight, look, 10 kilos is still 22 pounds.
Right.
So bump it up to 70 and 50 or 155 and 110, which is comparable, right? 155, 105 is the normal DT weights anyways.
Right. I just don't want, I see this event as being able to go back and forth where you can move on the run and then you have to fight on the lunge. Not move on the run and move on the lunge.
I want move on the run, fight on the lunge.
Right.
Yeah, I want both. And I think I do believe that if you're moving on the run, it's going to
it'll affect your lunge. It will.
That will affect your lunge, and that of course 185 is going to affect the lunge, right? Regardless of the run.
But you don't want to make it. You don't want to make it. You want to make it where people can still race.
Right.
On the lunge.
I think 185 is now it's a lunge event.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Like 155.
I like the 155. That's a good enough split.
0.1?
I'd say 0.1.
Yeah. I mean, 0.5 was 0.5 has to be pretty egregious, I think, which that was event 2.
Yeah.
All right, one more. Event number 8, 24, 18, 12. So 54 chest to bar pull-ups in total. 12, 9, 6 sandbag squats. Basically 200 and 150 are the weights. And that's a total of 27 squats. After each round, you have to carry the sandbag down and back on the floor. And I think on the last round, you just carried it over ahead. Mm-hmm. I really liked this as a final event when we went over it the first time. And I loved it once I saw it in person, in competition. Because the one thing that just kind of looked like a subtitle addition, like, oh, carry the bag back and forth. I'm like, all right, fine. That carry crushed people. That carry was a big part of that.
Right.
And the thing I loved about that is it crushed their core.
Yeah.
It jacked their heart rate and it blew up their arms in grip. And so how this all took place, I really liked this event and I really liked it that it was the final.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Sandbags on your diaphragm makes it so you can't breathe. You have no choice but to use your grip on this. And you already have to go unbroken on the chest to bar, which all those numbers are very minute, but that is tricky because you of course are going to go unbroken because you can and you should because you're a wanting to be games athlete. But now you have to deal with the grip fatigue that you get from that sandbag. And that's a gnarly grab. And I like the fact that like everyone had to hold it up.
Yeah.
Like everybody had to hold it up. And
it was all on the shoulders.
Yeah.
Like getting a 200, I get these people are super strong.
Yeah.
Getting a 200-pound sandbag to your shoulder is a task.
Yep.
Now, maybe not for all right, not for Morris Feebig. I get it, whatever. But then those carries, the problem with the carries too is that the bag is so damn big that you can't get a good grip. At least during the Capitol, it was a Husafel bag, so
Right, you can take a small area. Yeah.
Damn 200-pound sandbag, like you're just hoping you're interlocking your fingers, and you're like your pinky promising the sandbag. Listen, if you just don't let me drop you, I promise I'll buy one.
Hey, I got to go open up the door real fast for this.
Open the door.
Yeah, hold on.
All right, so after 7 events, okay, this is supposed to be after 8 events. One day I won't make any grammatical errors on this. Is that we've used a variety of different equipment, which is great. We've hit a bunch of different weightlifting movement patterns, heavier on the press, a little heavier on the hinge. We've had a good amount of squatting in different ways. Gymnastics patterns, more on the press, more on the pull. That's normal. Especially since the squatting was taken over by the weightlifting. The modalities are very balanced as well, which I like. Is that we had 8 different gymnastics movements. I almost forgot to add the toes to bar earlier.
Is this the overall?
No, not yet. Oh yeah, this is the overall breakdown.
Okay. What did you give on the last one? Did you do a?
Oh, I haven't done the points yet.
Oh, okay. For that last event?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the final tally of
got it.
All the stuff. How many we had? Looks like we had 8 gymnastics movements. I forgot to do the math there.
Dang, the equipment used got pretty colorful, didn't it?
I know. 8 weightlifting movements. We had 5 monostructural movement patterns. Yeah. All right, we're good. All right, let's get to the final here. Deduction wise, in a vacuum, isolated by itself, I have no critiques or additions to that.
Yeah.
I like the volume. I like the weight of the squat and the intensity that it forced them to go. I think it was like 24, 18, 12, the same. Like, all right, well, it's a sandbag workout.
Do you think the chest to bar was needed? I mean, it breaks it up, but like, I mean, what if you had, what's the total number of, what is that, 15, 27 on the sandbag squat?
Mm-hmm. It's half, right?
Walk. Like if you took the chest to bar out of it,
right?
Would it be the same event?
No.
I don't think so.
No, because people's got screwed up on the bag pulls and carries and cleans because their pulling was getting fatigued. And then to go back to the rig, like, did it game change? No, but I don't think the pull-ups in Fran matter either. It's just how fast can you cycle the barbell, right? So,
all right, I can see that.
But no, it's I didn't think about that.
Well, because I mean, look how many chest bar pull-ups it is.
Yeah, I mean,
like whenever have we had? I mean, other than Fran, and we've said that Fran is a waste of time as far as a qualifier, as far as trying to race high-end athletes. I mean, and that's basically what that is. Other than it's an active rest portion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not hard for these guys to do those pull-ups. These guys and girls to do those pull-ups, but it does give them just a little bit of a break to go into the sandbag to where they can push hard still again.
Yeah. Without looking prior to and isolated here. So I want this as part of my judging. Mm-hmm. The fact that this is the final event after 7 events, I'm okay with the pulling volume. There wasn't a whole lot of pulling volume gymnastics-wise. 30 bar muscle-ups. You hung on the rig for 60 toes to bar. Mm-hmm. But that was really it. Mm-hmm. All right, so the pulling wasn't huge, but you still, I mean, there's a lot of hinging and, the snatches and the rowing. I mean, the rowing is fine.
I mean, in all reality, we don't really need to test games athletes on pull-ups unless you're doing some gargantuan high rep version.
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't any. So we have 30 bar muscle ups.
Right. I mean, boss man at grip interference is that's. I mean, we saw that with the bag. We saw people failing the cleans because they couldn't hold the bag anymore.
Right.
And without the chest to bar pull-ups, I don't think they fail the cleans.
That's such a small.
It's small, but it's as
Yeah.
I would say this: we didn't point one the wall ball shots.
No,
I
that's
went
true.
point one the cleans.
No. I agree with that. I agree. I don't have a problem with it.
All right.
I'm just saying, like when we look at
Oh
it,
yeah, I get it.
when we look at it, it's like really games athletes, and we're doing
Well, not yet. Right.
we're qualifying games athletes.
Qualifying games athletes, yeah.
So
I would say
I'm fine with the none. I'm fine with
even
it.
if it was like 30, 20, 10. It's only 6 more.
Yeah.
But I mean 30, 20, that's it's not nothing once you I mean hanging on the bar for 30 chest bar pull-ups, then going back for 20. That's a rough back to back, especially after your second carry.
Yeah.
But then you only got 10. But even so, 6 more reps. It's funny. It's like I like that more than this, and we're arguing 6 reps. Well, I'm arguing with myself. I know we're not. So, all right, I got none on that one.
Oh, you know what? You could have gone 20, 30, 20, 10, and 15, 10, 5.
Yeah, right. Which that little extra. I do believe that little extra would have just made a good workout even better.
I think so.
But not where to the point. Not
nothing that I need to take anything off of. Yeah.
Not event 2.
No.
We're all in agreement that event 2, it already got its penalty. So 8 gymnastics, 5 monostructural, 8 weightlifting. So decent balance. The squats for the weightlifting, you had the wall ball shots. Okay. Not much. You had, if you received the bar in a squat for the snatch, which is, it's not really squat dependent.
Right.
And then the sandbag squats at the end. So not a lot of heavy on the squats, really. I would say at all. Now that I'm thinking about it. Pressing, say gymnastics, you had the burpee. Then you had the wall-facing handstand push-up. You had the handstand walk. And then the press out on the ring or the bar muscle up. I think that was it on the pressing. On the weightlifting side, you had the dumbbell press. You had the snatch receiving position, which is it's more on. You had the overhead position with the walking lunge. I'd argue pressing wise, the overhead position and the walking lunge is the hardest weightlifting pressing they had for the weekend.
Weightlifting wise, yeah, but I mean, like just having the 3 rounds of the 20 wall facing handstand push-ups.
Yeah, that was the biggest.
Like that checked the box for have we pressed?
Mm-hmm. Hinging clearly. I mean,
a lot, but how could you not hinge? I mean, like,
you're always going to hinge.
You're always hinging.
I would say the midline was tested the most this weekend.
Oh God, yeah.
60 deadlifts at 308. 60 GHD sit-ups, 60 toes to bar, sandbag carry, sandbag squats. I mean, the hardest part of sandbag squat is just sitting there under the weight. You're like, damn it. A lot of core. Handstand walks do that. Wall-facing handstand push-up. Like I heard some guys this morning, I train and I just hear them talk. They're like, deadlifts and handstand push-ups is such a nasty combo. I don't know why. I was like, what do you mean?
Well, let me tell you why.
As someone who has a horrific core strength issue, that's why. Because handstand push-ups blow up your core and especially your posterior chain. Same with the deadlifts. That's why it sucks so much.
Yeah.
Also, the deadlifts pull on your shoulders and your traps, which is what you need to stabilize and press out for the handstand. It's a horrible combo. Horrible. All right, Bill. Now, as far as the overall grading, up into this point, we've only had 1.1 total deductions through the 8 events. So we had 1 for the entire event miss in event 2, and just a 0.1 for the weights on event 7.
All right. So where are the imbalances now? Now that we're looking at everything, where are the imbalances? Imbalances we know are going to be squatting.
I would say squatting that
and-
impacted the event, much like we've seen pulling, pressing in a gymnastics format, but that was all in the same event.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say a heavy squat, a heavy squatting movement. I mean, if we think about it, these guys went from the open to here. These athletes coming out of here are not tested in their squat capacity getting to the games.
True.
So that is a problem. Gymnastic pulling, like the only thing we really did, like I'm sorry, I won't count the chest to bar pull-ups as pulling. I mean, I know it is, but
Yeah.
if we're trying to get games athletes to the games and we're qualifying those athletes, the only thing that they really did was they did 30 bar muscle ups.
Right.
And I think that that's okay, but I still think that like there's some missing.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of great pressing.
Pressing was tested, core, hinge tested.
Yeah.
But you're right. Upper body pulling was not tested.
Mm-mm.
It was programmed.
It was programmed, but it wasn't tested.
Squatting wasn't tested. It was programmed. The sandbag one is close, but nobody's sitting there like, oh shit, I hope I make all these squats.
Right. right.
I mean, at the games, we did 50
Yeah.
in ski bag, and that mattered.
Like if they would have done, let's say you just remove that event too.
Okay.
And if we need to, for whatever reason, have 8 events in here, we put in some squatting event.
Right.
I wouldn't say like a 1 rep max sort of a thing, but if we did some sort of a heavy squatting event,
Mm-hmm.
I think that would, if they did the back squat ring muscle up one.
Back squat. Oh,
it was if they did that.
Nine semis, yeah, dude. Damn it, and just took out the handstand walk,
dude. That right there.
Holy shit, Bill.
Done. Bar muscle ups, ring muscle ups, back squatting.
And you do that as event 2 right after the monostructural one, and it's just 15-minute AMRAPs of 3 and 3.
Yeah.
It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Shit. Yeah. All right. Okay, so lack of pulling being tested. Is that a...
Yeah, I think...
Now, was it a complete absence of?
It's not an absence of, but as far as, I mean, if you're going to say it was programmed, but it wasn't tested, I think it's a bigger issue than just a 0.1.
Oh, yeah.
And again, a 0.5 for the lack of squatting, because
although these athletes had lunges,
no, because we've already said a lunge is not a squat.
No, but I forgot about the lunges as far as like it's still lower body focused.
Okay.
All right. What do you think? God, I forgot about that one. Do you think that offsets the difference between the lack of pulling that was tested? Because all we really have is 30 bar muscle ups and 54 chest to bar pull ups. That's all we have. Squatting, you've got wall balls. I know it's 100. It's not that bad.
I had a hard time even counting that.
But yeah.
I get it.
You got the sandbag squats under max intensity and then the lunges.
How many sandbag squats? Oh, okay, so I would say
7 at 200 and 150 at the end of the weekend. And they just did the run lunge event.
I would say, okay, then I would say
I think 0.5. I'm 0.5 for pulling. And if we're going to dock them for not
0.1 for the squat,
for the squatting,
I think that there needs to be. I think there needs to be more on the pulling. I'm okay with what you said. No, I mean more than 0.5.
Oh,
is what I'm saying.
On the pulling?
On the lack of gymnastic pulling.
Ooh.
No rope climbs, no ring muscle ups, a smidgen amount of chest to bar pull ups, and 30 bar muscle ups under intensity.
Yeah. Sean's question: This is going to be the fun thing we'll look at the end of the year.
Right.
We will after the CrossFit Games, because these events are basically sending their champions to compete at the CrossFit Games based off what they programmed. And right now you have Bronislav Alenkowicz, Callum Clements, Lucy McGonigal, and Claudia Glut. And his question is, what are the chances that anyone from this qualifier will place in the top 10 of the games? None of them.
And is that a problem?
That's less of a product of the programming and more of a product of the people who were there.
True. I don't disagree with that. I think it will be a fun show and come back to the end and be like, okay, who programmed right?
and then part of that is, was it a programming thing or was it an athlete thing? It's like, well, it turns out that the online semifinals at CrossFit program produced the best. I was like, yeah, because
they had 11 of them. Yeah, totally.
You literally took the top 11 athletes in the world who did the test, and then you put them at the CrossFit Games. Yeah, Braun accidentally qualified for the CrossFit Games. I'm happy for him. I like Braun.
Braun is awesome.
Braun is an awesome dude. But that guy was just like, yep, I'm still fit. Like, even Braun doesn't care that he made the CrossFit Games. All right, back to the...
Come on. You know that it's got to be a bigger pulling than that. It has to be.
Put a 1, though? A 1? Because we don't have a middle ground. We don't have a 0.7.
I don't think that this event... I mean, what are we at? 8.9?
We're at 8.9.
Like, I think is that the highest one that we've had so far?
Coming in? No.
What's the highest one?
Like overall?
Yeah.
8.5. But this is without overall comp deductions. I have 0.5.
I thought we were looking at overall for the...
Yeah, we are. Okay. We're adding in. I haven't subtracted anything yet. We're already at an 8.9 before we even do overall.
Right. What is our highest ranked event competition?
I believe it's online semis at an 8.5.
Okay.
Which we gave it a strong B. Didn't make the B plus yet. Because B plus to me is like 8.7. Or is it 8, 9, 10? Or no, 10 is in the A. 7, 8, 9?
Okay, so here's a question for you then. With a 5-event competition versus an 8-event competition, do they get more credit because we can strike one out, but then you have all these other ones? If you take that one out, yeah, now it's amazing. Well, you had more opportunities to make it amazing.
True, but there's also more opportunities to deduct more stuff on the flip side of that.
I mean, they had a completely worthless event.
True, and we took away 1 whole point from it, which is a lot.
So if that event wasn't here, these guys right now would be at a 9.9 on this event.
Correct.
Do you think that this is a 9.9 event?
No.
That's what I'm at. That's what I'm saying.
I know. That's
how do we get down to where?
All right. So if I add a 0.5 for the lack of pulling, and a 0.1 for not enough squatting being tested in a manner of which separates the field.
Okay.
That's a 0.6.
So we're at 8.3.
8.3.
Okay, at least we're in the right range.
Right now we're at 8.3, so it's not the best. Okay. Definitely not the worst.
No, hell no.
No,
not at all.
Good overall event. I really enjoyed the programming.
I'm not trying to get it down to a 5.
Bill brought his chainsaw to the...
Yeah. But again, like and this is something that I've been kind of feeling like over the last handful of years is when you are qualifying, who is the athlete that you are qualifying? Right now, I feel that the athlete that qualifies out of here, we have no idea. And I don't think that I don't necessarily agree when like JR says we need to test running at this because they do running at the games.
Careful, Bill.
I know.
I was watching.
I know. Hey, what up? Hey, he made it. Cool. I think that it's important to like we do the specific testing once we get to the games. That's when we do the specific stuff.
Right.
But I just feel that those to me are glaring holes, especially when they didn't get tested out of the open from that, and they didn't get tested here. Like even gymnastic pulling in the open, what did these guys get?
0.
Nothing. So between their gymnastic pulling and their squatting, they really didn't get that much. And I'll focus mostly on the gymnastic pulling.
Yes.
Like they haven't hit ring muscle up once.
I agree with you.
No rope climbs at all.
I agree with you 100%.
That's
I
all I'm
have
saying.
a hard time giving them a 1 for that, though.
I'm just saying. I'm not.
Yeah.
I like the 8.3 so far. I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah.
I actually am. I was getting
Event
nervous.
order, something to look at. Balance of time domains. All right, here's one. They had let me see. So you've got the row. Okay, here. Event 2 was a sprint. Event 5 was short. Event 6 was a sprint. Event 8 was short. So they have 4 events that are half of the field is short. Now we also have a good moderate, right? Event 7, 10 to 12 minutes. Event 4, about the same. Event 3, right? Like, so they had a good blend, and we can say that the numbers of because they had more events.
Right.
Right. If 4 of the 6 events were all sub 7, which we saw at Wadland Fest.
That's a problem.
Right. So the more I talk it out is like, I actually don't mind the time domains, the efforts, because the sprints were all like sub 5. The shorts were 5 to 10. The moderates were 10 to 14. And there was 2 of each through each one and a long one in there.
And I don't want to. I am trying hard not to make it. I want to be able to score it on itself.
Yeah.
I don't want to. But I was asking like, what was it compared to like with the online or whatever, just as a.
I almost feel like we should redo the Mayhem Classic because that's the only one we haven't used the scoring system on.
Well, we're definitely gonna have to do that. I think that's especially by the time like once all the semis are over, we have to make sure we do that.
Yeah.
So that we get everyone on the same page, so that we can actually take that information when we get to the games, and look at those athletes.
All right.
I'm good with the 83 actually.
Wadland Fest was a 4-5. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Let me see what Copa Sur was, because Copa Sur I think was the first time we did this. Copa Sur was a 7.
No, yeah, because we were trying to figure out if that was a D or a C or an F.
Yeah, yeah. 74%. That's C.
Right.
That's a C. 7-4 for Copa Sur. I wonder how we would do if we just like revisited it.
That's a good question too.
Let's see. We did team finals. No, that's fine. And then okay. So right now I can't take away 1 for the polling, but I do see how you could sit there and like.
You can give me a 0.5, right?
So I gave it a 0.5 for sure.
Okay. All right, I'm good with that.
And I gave it a 0.1 for the squatting.
Okay. I'll take that.
And then we already did the event thing. And I'll say this, and we were curious how this would hold up. The 8 events over the course of 3 days, the volume was a concern. But after breaking it all down and looking at it, I don't think it was over-programmed. I just think they didn't need as many events as they thought they did. Mm-hmm. But really, I would what did we say last time off the cuff? It was like, all right, drop event 2. Drop event
7.
Drop event 7.
And then just leave the rest.
Because then you got like row, long distance. Okay, monostructural test here. You've got a gymnastics test in event 4. Then you've got a weightlifting test in event 5. All right, you hit all 3 modalities for half of the events. And the next one is mixed modal, squat, press, push, and pull. And then you have a mixed squat, pull. And what's the other one in here? Yeah. Okay. And then, echo bike, pull. Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Ooh, look at this. Okay, you've got weightlifting, gymnastics as like that mixed modal one. You have monostructural gymnastics as this one, and then you have weightlifting and gymnastics as your other one. I don't think they needed 8.
I don't think they did either.
Point one.
The thing is that if they didn't have one of those other ones and had event 2 in there,
right,
I think it would be a drastic. We
Yes.
would be looking at more point differences. That's what I'm saying. It's interesting to see. Like it's like the kid that is taking a test and they write down all the answers and they just say all the things,
Yes.
hoping that eventually one of them will be something that's like, oh yeah, well I got it right because it's in there.
Right.
Yeah, but all this other crap that you had around it,
Right.
like you really didn't know what you were doing. You just like threw it all out there hoping that something would stick.
Yeah.
I'm not
Take
saying they
take
did
out
that.
2 and
I'm just
7.
saying,
Yeah, take out 2 and 7, and now we're actually. Ooh, but then would you dock it at 0.5 because then the squatting?
well, I still think the gymnastic pulling would be a problem. Yeah.
Yes.
But you wouldn't be losing the 1 point for the event either.
Oh, true. True.
I mean, that one event took off 1 point. So if that one event wasn't there, then they'd be at a 9-6.
Ooh.
No, 9-3. 9-3.
9-3.
Which doesn't that it seems kind of high for a program that is missing, I think, or is testing enough gymnastic pulling.
True.
It seems.
Yeah. That's good. Damn. Barkley, you're not wrong.
Right.
Bronze performance over the course of 8 events. Yeah.
And it must not be that bad because he's a Masters athlete now. So you know what? Masters can be able to
Dude's
handle
35 and like halfway out the door, and it's like, yeah, I'll go and win it. I mean, I don't really know where else to like poke holes in. You?
Nah, I mean, I'm good with that 8-3.
Okay, so that's an 8-3. 8-3 in our scoring system is a B.
It's B.
No, it's B minus.
Is it a B minus?
3, 2, 1. No, 80 still a B. Damn it, it is a B. Yeah, because okay, it'd be 80, 81, 8.0, 8.1, 8.2. And then on the top end, you'd have 8.9, 8.8, 8.7. 3, 4, 5, 6 in the middle. All right, yeah. Who?
B.
B. Yeah,
Solid.
solid. This is a good score, guys.
Easy,
If
Barkley.
you're watching,
Easy.
B minus. No, Barkley.
Don't be so mean.
Even though I would defer to Barkley as far as intelligence is concerned between the two of us.
For
I still feel like it's a B. B. Oh, yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Nice job, French. See how your athletes perform when they do this.
Yeah.
This weekend will be the TFX Invitational. We will preview the events for the TFX Invitational tomorrow. Does the same time work for you?
Yeah, same time.
All right. So 12:30 Central, 10:30 Pacific. Other than that, congrats to all the athletes that qualified out of here. I'm excited to see. Year 2 Claudia Glut. I think she has a lot of raw potential.
Yeah.
She's got some strength holes to shore up, but that girl thrusts and pull-ups. I mean, watch out for anything gymnastics-wise. So I'm curious about year 2. How many athletes we've seen make a good jump between the first time going to the games and just getting smashed with everything that the games is, and then coming back. I mean, to go back to back, that's a huge feat.
Yeah, it is. It's
Huge.
massive.
Excited to see Lucy McGonigal make it finally as an individual. I know she's been team and had success here, but this is it. This is it. And then Braun, congrats for accidentally making the CrossFit Games. Good for you. I'm so proud of your big Polish self. And then Callum Clements backing up his performance, right? Not necessarily a fluke. So that was good. All right, team. We will be back tomorrow. It is Wednesday, which means is Pedro? Does he have an Around the Whiteboard show today? Let me see. If you guys didn't see his little clip that he just put up a little with Greg Glassman. Around
Dude,
the Whiteboard.
it's amazing.
Yes. All right. So if you
Gosh, it's so good.
stick around, Pedro will be. What are the topics today? Who's on? Oh, he didn't say. All right. Well, it might be happening in 20 minutes. And then tonight with the spin will be. Will this be the John Young? Are these going to do a mountain show, or is he just going to brag about how great he was?
I think he's going to brag about how great he was.
Which is, that's why we love him.
Yeah.
That's why we love him. So yes, coffee pods and water is 18 minutes. But go watch the Glassman thing. I know Savon pulled it up, but it's it's right here. It's a whoprogram.com. And why did it change? It's an interesting question. Actually, a very cool question.
Yeah.
And Pedro's so disarming when he talks to people. Just like Greg, yeah, this is it. I wish he asked Greg why he programmed CrossFit Total so much once he took the programming back over in 2019. But,
He's he said he was testing it for all the old parts.
Yes, CrossFit Total is like how many gallons?
Right. How many gallons of blue milk can you move?
Pick up off the floor. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Congrats on the French Throwdown. Stay tuned for coffee pods and wads, and be back tonight for the spin. We will see you guys tomorrow.